So look forward to today's presentations, and we'll get things going. I'd like to now welcome Peter Shelley, the Managing Director of ATEC. Pete, to the stage. Thanks, Peter.
Hey, thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everybody, for coming along, and just to reiterate all of the nice introductory comments made by Andrew, who is esteemed in this environment here because of his expertise and the role he plays for our industry. Given that, I would have thought he would at least share one of his 3 coffees with some of his TA colleagues, but he chose to have all 3 of them himself. He probably needed them because I know he spends a lot of late nights entertaining the people in the industry. Can I also just thank Tourism Australia, because this was a little idea that came up some time ago with Lee and Adir and of course Jen Bruce here from ATEC. We got together and thought, such a big issue. We talk a lot about China and the China opportunity, but the issue about China away with something that's of value to you. Can I firstly just do a little bit of market research? So I'm assuming everybody in this room here is either engaged or interested in engaging the China market. So that would be nods all around the place. Can you put your hands up, therefore, if you're already enabled, if you're a seller, with a credit card payment program for China? Hands up if you've got credit card, and probably be Union Pay. Hands up nice and high there now. What do you reckon, James? 40, 50% of the crowd, do you reckon? A rough guess? Righto, well done. And hands up if you've got a digital payment interface with, say, either Alipay or WeChat Pay in your business as well. Nice and high now, hands up. Oh, 1, 2, yep, okay. Bit of work to do there, George. So I think this is the interesting part of why we are here today, is to talk about how we can actually embrace, even extend on what the good work that UnionPay have done and all the innovations that are taking place there, but also embrace how to get involved in the digital payment platform that are coming through so quickly. We hear all the time, in fact, TA market research will often tell us that we're hearing China visitors leave this country with money in their pocket, money they intended to spend in this country while they're here visiting and haven't, whether it's because of the payment or the opportunity that arose at the time, but it often does come back down to payment. So we want that money to stay here. We want the Chinese visitor to have a wonderful time while they're here. We want them to enjoy. We want them to spend. And we want to provide that capability that's convenient for them in any way, shape or form we can. Can I say just a couple of things about what ATEC's doing here before I introduce our panellists here today. ATEC's been very involved in the China educational space, for many years, in fact, since China became a significant market. We've been involved in the China Product Ready program, which has been really important, and I nod to Chippy over there, Sandra Chipchase, from CEO of Destination New South Wales, who once again recently in an interview highlighted the need to be absolutely China product ready before you actually get too far down the path of involvement in China, and everybody in this room would be China product ready. We talk about China distribution ready, understanding the channels of distribution, which we work on a lot in an ATEC context. We talk about China service ready, being able to provide a wonderful service to the Chinese visitor when they come here. And I think that's all going down the path pretty well, and I know a lot of people are working really hard on all of those areas. So now we've got to work on the China payment piece, and that's why we're here today. Can I say also, just as part of what ATEC's doing in the China area, is we've recently established a China Payments Working Group, because I must say we hear all these bits and pieces from an ATEC perspective, but we wanted to bring it together in an informed way. And we've got such a great partnership with all our members, and we've formed a working group with some of the leaders in this area, including Sydney Opera House, Mirvac Shopping Centre, Luna Park Sydney, Moonshadow Cruises and Taronga Zoo, are all part of a working group now, specifically bringing information to the table of what's happening at the grassroots of payments in China, which is really helpful to us as an organisation. So we're now meeting with that group every fortnight, and this forum is part of that. And we're not professing at all to be the font of all knowledge, but what we will do is bring information together and share it back through the membership as to how to help you understand and make decisions about where you want to go in the China payment space in particular. Okay, also after this, I think we're taping most of this today, so we're going to run some webinars as well. So not everybody, of course, is here today. It's a big community we have across the country, and so we want to share the information provided today with a lot of other people. The objective of today, 3 objectives: gain a better understanding of the China payments ecosystem, to address any misconceptions. And there are a few, and hopefully we'll be able to surface a couple and address them during today. And this is a great opportunity if you've got questions, and I know many of you have, to actually record them, write them down, stand up, and when we've got question time, and really ask the questions that are on your mind about China payments, and to help simplify the path to setting up payments. And we've got some great enablers that are sitting down here that we want to highlight and emphasise how important the important role that they play in bridging the gap between you, the supplier or the seller, and the China payment platforms that we have here today. So that's part of what we're doing today. So today's forum will go something like this. Shortly I'll introduce Nick, who's up here, sitting on the bar stool without the bar, and then we'll hear also we'll hear from 2 of our leading China payment providers. We do have 3 lined up, we only have 2 here. We'll hear from James Yang, who is here from UnionPay, who Andrew mentioned before. James is the Regional General Manager of UnionPay. James, a lot of you would know James. He's been doing some great work in this industry for a long time. His major responsibility is leading the UPI team in Australia, in New Zealand and the Pacific Islands, and working with major banks and financial institutions. That will be followed by WeChat Pay. Now, WeChat Pay don't have a representative here today, sadly, but we do have a video from WeChat Pay which we will view. And that will be followed by George Lawson. George on the other side from Alipay. George is the country manager for Australia and New Zealand. His primary focus is to build merchant acceptance of Alipay so Chinese customers can use a familiar payment system when they travel to this country. So there'll be plenty of opportunity for audience participation, as I say, so get your pens out and write your questions down. And then at the final part, we'll actually talk about the payment enablers, the digital payment enablers, to their role and what they can provide. And they're all set up. We've got 4 wonderful China payment enablers. They're on desks out there, or they're here now, but they've got setups out there, and we'll be able to mingle and learn from them how they can help you, your business, after we finish the forum while we're having some networking drinks. So, having said all that, can I introduce you, Nick? Nick's the Director, China Practice for Asia Business, and has more than training, strategy and expertise, providing a unique offering for businesses seeking to understand the market and expand their China business opportunities. Please join me in welcoming Nick to talk about China ecosystem. Thank you, Nick.